head over heels in love with him. I decided to tell this girl what he was saying, and she doubled down in her love for him. Well, he ended up somehow cheating on her, which I say somehow because he looked like he crawled up from under the fucking earth. And the issue that I started to see is that a lot of men, the conversations they're having are beyond insane. That same guy, before he got that girlfriend, would tell me that he was hooking up with his managers, hooking up with people around him left and right. At one point, he told me that he thought he had an STD and he wanted to spread it. He thought it was funny, and I immediately stopped associating with him because what do you mean? I remember recently I was at the library studying, right, like at my uni, and there was this group of boys, and I had headphones on, but I wasn't listening to anything because I was like, I wonder what people are talking about. This one guy, he's hanging out with his homies, he's telling them, hey, this is what you can say and do to bag this kind of bitch. He says, oh, if you want an artsy bitch, just see what she likes on her Instagram or her TikTok and get like a tote bag or something and go where she goes and see if you can hit her off. I heard him say, oh, if you want a spiritual bitch, just post 1111 on your story a lot and buy like some tarot cards or some shit and drop them in front of her. All you need to do is get the summary on whatever she posts. This guy goes down to explain different archetypes that he saw as for women and how you could successfully bag them. One of these boys started taking fucking notes. Dead ass, like with a pen and paper, taking notes. And it's so crazy to me because I've mentioned how, like, as a woman or as a girl, you need to be engaging in red pill content to a minimum because you need to be aware of what these men are doing and what their tactics are to bag you. Like you're some sort of wild animal to hunt because that's how they treat you and that's what they think about you. And it's genuinely insane. I don't personally, you don't even have to personally like watch the content. You can just get summaries. And the thing is, I watch these two YouTubers, Abba and Preach, and they cover like red pill content. I think specifically like, I know they've done a lot of like fresh and fit videos, and the things that these guys are saying, like even if you're just on TikTok and you scroll and you see it, you are aware that millions of guys are hearing this and they're internalizing that and they are treating the people in their relationships like that. There is a whole reason why there's such a phenomenon of like, oh, line up dates where they line all these women up and like the whole pop the balloon thing. Shit like that can only happen because the standard has gotten to this point. And it's very alarming where like I don't see any women like recognizing what's going on or even like attempting to like see what is happening. Because that kind of behavior will also feed into like the trad wife movement. A reason why the trad wife movement is so big is because a lot of these influencers are promoting it. But it's not even just the men, it's also the women. They're like, oh, I just don't want to work, I just don't want to do that. Well, I understand that, girl, but when that man decides he doesn't want to feed you, or when he decides he doesn't want to give you your allowance, or when he decides he wants to go up and get the younger model, what the fuck are you gonna do? I'll never forget an experience I heard on here. I had to cut apart because I absolutely tripped over on my words. Listen, there was a woman on here, and this experience kind of resonated with me because I was raised by older women in my life, and I had heard stories like this all the time. And the thing that I'll never get over is the fact that like a lot of women today are like advocating for their own enslavement when they don't really realize how bad it was back in the day, and it wasn't even that long ago. But there was a girl on TikTok here talking about, I think she was like British. I think her mom was like Somali or something. But this story was like, this woman, she had seen this white lady, or this lady had married some rich guy. And the rich guy would get really angry at her and he wouldn't leave her any money for her or the kids. And he would just up and leave for weeks. And she said that her mom's friend had to come over to their house to eat because she literally had no money, no food, no help, no support. And it's because this guy had a temper, and she stayed with this man for years until finally she was like, I cannot do this anymore. And the amount of stories that I remember hearing like that when I grew up, the women in my life, I mean, I'm so grateful for hearing their experiences even when I was young. And when I experienced going through like public schooling and being around other guys and like hearing how they talk about women, I wasn't surprised at all, because I had like, one of my grandmas had a friend, and her friend was constantly barefoot and pregnant. And people throw around barefoot and pregnant and they don't even know what the fuck it means. It means literally what it says. They would take away these women's shoes in the winter so they can't run away, and then get them pregnant as hell in the summer and pregnant every year so they can't leave. And then once these women would have enough kids, they wouldn't want to leave their babies because men had more rights back in the day. Like, I don't think you guys understand how how sinister this shit is. And it's crazy because I remember, bro, I have one of my grandma's friends, another one, she was struggling and she was a single parent. So she decided to get remarried, and this man, she ended up finding out that her husband was molesting all of the kids in their house, and her children, he immediately did the right thing, reported the husband, got him locked up in jail, not for that long because they didn't give a fuck in the state that they were in at the time, which was horrible. But her children's life were ruined. And I remember, like, something that will also never leave me, like, not only just hearing stories like this a lot, because it gets worse, like, the amount of stories that I have heard with, like, these men abusing and beating people, women specifically, even kids, like, I was talking about that in an earlier video that I had